tall, so not the biggest barbarian, but I'm jacked.
It's a hair and braids.
We could put our parents in the way.
It's a big pieces and two braids, and then we wrapped it around, and then we gave them the flowers, sticking together, and then when we did this,
May I have another drink, please?
Yes, you may. Andy goes over.
Put your hands up, it's better!
No. Saving roll in Constitution, saving throw.
Yes, you. I'm gonna fight you.
He's sort of you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Goggles.
You're Dr. Mole.
Robot. Dr. Robot.
What do you do?
Take a moment to try to stop laughing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one!
Why not? It worked again.
Hating on Batman.
I don't hate Batman, for the record. I hate the fandom of Batman.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's the
that's
issue.
way more people.
It is. It's a
Dang.
lot of, like, actual human beings.
Were you gonna...
You need to rub this crap off your neck and not smell like me, or I will fail. Just start rubbing his neck and just getting like.
I am fairly certain it doesn't matter what I smell like at this point.
To a feline, you have wolf's piss on you.
I'm just gonna point at my feline eyes.
I have some time.
You've just tuned in. We had the brilliant idea while we were fishing at the Dark Moon Festival.
Oh, jeez.
To do a dungeon with fishing poles equipped. Because why not? And so we drank all of the alcohol in our bags, and we equipped our fishing poles and our aquatic pets, and we went to do a dungeon.
I feel like I need to put it up. So this was the end of our epic tale. What holds for next week as the heroes set sail? We may find more family, we may find where things start. All we know is to follow our heart. So our heroes set forth to pillage and to plunder in the magical continent of wonder. We have one more question. I hope to not blunder. The question for you, dear friends. Do you wonder? Thank you, guys. Indigo Connect. Joe, right? Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hello. Welcome to Indigo Chameleon. It is Thursday night. It is time for a little World of Warcraft. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Was it too soon? I'm so sorry, Indigo. No, it is Thursday night. It is time for a little D&D 101 with Professor McCoy. Glasses are right there. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's episode where we take a bunch of noobs and put them through the paces. And we're going to let those guys introduce themselves here in just a little bit. But first, we have a few announcements before we get started. We've got some shows coming up here on the channel soon. Tomorrow is the second episode of Neverland. It is our 5e D&D game set in Neverland. I'm very excited. We had an amazing first episode. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in and lended your support and supporting these wild, crazy, amazing characters. One of our characters, the Lost Boy, cannot be here this week. So we are very happy to have a guest star on this week. Our very own T-Rex head-wearing John is playing a swashbuckling pirate rogue character, so you're going to want to tune in this week to see a brand new character introduced into Neverland. We're very happy to have him. And that is tomorrow night. Saturday night, we are usually dark here on the stream, but you can catch us for any sort of pop-up streams that we decide to do. Maybe World of Warcraft night to catch up? I do not know. Yes, gosh. Oh, I heard that from across the room. Sunday night, we're actually having a return back to the days of yore. We got a brand new card game, and we're doing some like a card game here. It's this one about startup companies and kind of pitching along the lines of snake oil. So we need to do a recruitment for that to see if anybody wants to come and join us and hang out and play. So because we haven't done that yet. But there's one. So we'll do a recruitment for that, and we'll see who wants to come and play, and we'll have to see how many people that card game can accommodate. Monday night, I don't know what's happening. It may be some Borderlands 2. It may be something else entirely. It may be some homebrew and brew with you, because I love that, and there's some stuff I have to work on. Yeah, I will keep you guys posted. Tuesday night, we get back into Wonderland as the team goes to hell. Hashtag not Montana.
Wait, we weren't. That wasn't last week because it felt like hell.
No,
No,
we had no one
dead.
died. He was only nearly dead.
I distinctly remember you saying, and the light left his eyes.
Yeah, he died.
He closed his eyes. Yeah, that's what happened.
He died it so bad. So yeah, that's what we had, and then that'll take us back around to the week. Do not forget that Indigo Chameleon has its own merch now. We've got shirts, we've got sweatshirts, we've got stickers, we've got water bottles, we have prints, we have all sorts of fun stuff that you can do to kind of show your support. I had a really great interaction with work, and I'll share it with all of you guys. I wore my shirt to work, and I worked for a particular place, and somebody saw it and was like, "Hey, that's cool. It's a rainbow." It's just like it's a pride thing, and I was like, "Yeah." And we talked about Indigo Chameleon, and did not know that my manager of like 3 or 4 years played D&D back in the olden days, and because of that. He went digging in his attic and got down all of his books and his like old school dice, and he is talking to some friends of his to start up a game in a group, and all thanks to Indigo Chameleon and seeing the shirt and starting a conversation. So it's a great way to sort of go out there and connect with people and find other people that share your interest. I think that's it for announcements. Guys, welcome to Dungeons & Dragons 101. We have some new people at the table. We have some familiar faces at the table. If you don't mind, let's go around and you can share your Twitch name and who you're going to be playing this evening in this sort of newbie game.
Sounds good. Okay. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm Solaris Nebulae on Twitch, and I'm playing a Vistani druid tonight named Vishengo.
Vishani it's kind of a newer race, correct? It's like gypsy, dark.
Kind of like a gypsy vampire from the Curse of Strand expansion.
It's such a good race that like I'm surprised there isn't a string of like young adult fiction books written after.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. I'm into this a lot. So thank you for being the first person to play that. Yeah.
My name on Twitch is Alcaboose Bender. And I'm playing Evo tonight. He is a Air Genasi wizard. I haven't played like a true magic user yet.
That's true. You've only played fake magic users.
yeah. Hendrik is totally a fake magic user.
Yeah, that tracks. Actually, no, we're good. Great.
Yeah. My Twitch name is Legend Hillary. I will be playing Trust, who is a tiefling warlock. I have never played a real magic user either.
Well, good. Well,
Not even fake ones.
Oh my! Well, we're happy to be your sort of safety net here.
Hi, my Twitch name is Catherine Cecilia. Super creative. I'm playing Justice, and she's a tiefling cleric, and I have never played D&D, so this is gonna be a wild ride.
It's gonna be great.
My Twitch name is Magnoth Redux. I am playing Tobias, a human rogue.
My name is Shanae, and my character's name is Fallon, and she's an elf who's a sorcerer.
So we got a lot of magic users tonight, and I'm very excited about this. So guys, we're going to be playing a little game called Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons started way back... No, I'm not going to do a history lesson on Dungeons & Dragons. Many years ago, and then the rains came. Tonight we're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons. Everybody's got their character sheet. Everybody's got their dice. The things that I want to point out to all of you is on that character sheet that you guys have in front of you. Whether you have a on your electronic character sheet that you have in front of you. The things I want you to pay most attention to are your ability scores. These are going to pertain to the things that your character is able to do. A lot of them are self-explanatory. Things like strength, which includes athletic acts, being able to sort of push boulders out or sort of pull your weight or sort of carry things. Dexterity, which pertains to acrobatics, parkour. sleight of hand and how stealthy or sneaky you are. It also pertains to certain weapons that rely a little bit more on dexterity rather than I pick up the heavy stick and I hit it until it stops moving, and then yay, heavy stick. Like that's more of a strength-based ability. Intelligence deals with certain skills like Arcana, how well you understand magic and think how that particular thing works. History, the history of a realm. Investigation. Nature, understanding certain plants and what they do, or animals, and religion, the different religions in an area. Wisdom, it's hard to explain. I don't want to narrow it down to like book smarts and street smarts, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of this thing, how well you perceive things, your general survival skills. That guy's dead, like, and he's missing a head. Just. Animal handling, how good you are. Insight is an interesting one because insight allows you to tell if someone is lying or what their intentions are. It's great for sort of sussing out like NPCs who come up twirling a mustache and you're like, I don't know about this guy. And then charisma.
For those of us that don't know, like me, who's never played D&D, what's NPC stand for?
NPC is sort of a non-player character. So these are everyone except you. So these are any of the characters that you will run into during your adventure. Shopkeep, Goblin number 3, which it is your. And you,
I like Goblin too.
You say this, but I create an 8-page backstory for this innkeeper, expecting, and you guys frickin' gravitate to Goblin number 3, and I'm like, yeah, Terry, like he's got a wooden leg, and everybody's like, Terry, and it's like, goodbye, innkeeper, I'll miss you. He was the crux of the season, like but be aware that I'm fully prepared to honor the choices that you guys all make tonight. And
Terry will pop up like every 5 lines. Like, hey, you guys! No, still over there.
You guys interested in that quest? Okay, bye, I love you. Bye, Terry. The world is yours. And make good choices that you feel like your character would make. Make bad choices you feel like your character would make. Make creative choices. Feel free to push and pull the environment. Like, this is the joy of this game. Is it's there is something great about board games, and Hillary and Indigo and I, we bonded over like these board games and these limited sort of like universes, and then it was weird to have this and then just sort of like explode where everything can be sort of played and explored. So those are your ability scores listed on the left-hand side. You'll see your proficiency bonus. This levels up with you, and it allows you to sort of up your skills as you go. Right now, you're noobs. You're level 1 characters, so you're not as proficient in some skills as you will be at later levels, and it helps you to skill as you go. You'll notice a list of skills actually listed under things like acrobatics. Don't forget to add that plus that you have written there. Anytime I ask you to make a check, you'll roll a d20 and add that number that's next to it. Same goes with saving throws. You'll see your armor class listed at the top. Now, a question that came up online when I said I was doing D&D 101 is armor class isn't fully like how hard it is to hit you. It's not describing like the piece of armor you're wearing. Armor class encompasses how hard it is to hit you. So it's how quick you are, or how the plus the amount of armor you're wearing. If you're holding a shield, you'll get a +2 to that armor. So it's just how high I have to roll, or an enemy has to roll, in order to be able to hit you. Which brings us to hit points. Okay. That's your life, essentially, in video game parlance. That's how many hits you can take before you are knocked unconscious. Once you are knocked unconscious, we get into death saving throws. If you fail 3 death saving throws, you die, which we had happen to a character fairly recently here on Indigo Chameleon. Suck it, Chris.
He didn't die.
But yeah, any other questions? Take a look at your equipment and things of that sort. We will go slow. That being said, heroes. You find yourselves in the town of Fairley. Fairley is one of those special towns that always seems to be equidistant from all of the other sort of major kingdoms spread around the area. So it attracts a lot of heroes. The town of Fairleigh, unfortunately, even though it is a place filled with sort of unique treasures and unique individuals, it's also become a waypoint for unique problems, which is a great place to have heroes that are looking to prove themselves in a big, scary world before they sort of hearken out and take adventures and things of that sort. This group of heroes, you have either been traveling together for quite some time or just met in the long road to Fairleigh. You find yourselves at a very unique tavern. This is a brand new pop-up, and it's this special pop-up tavern is called Woodland Beings. And here's the thing about Woodland Beings is it always seems to be changing and morphing into something else. Woodland Beings, you walk up to this sort of stone building, and as you walk inside, the inside of Woodland Beings is sort of a forest theme. There's all sorts of like plants and things of that sort, and you're able to sort of sit in these sort of like alcoves and things of that sort and enjoy your drink and talk. As the six of you meet, it's the morning, whatever sort of adventures brought you here to this day. Give me perception checks as the six of you sit down in the morning and are enjoying sort of You're going to roll your d20 and add your perception modifier to that.
Yeah, cool. I got a nat 20 on that one.
A nat 20, you see all. Two nat 20s.
I got a 20 not nat.
A 20 not nat. Okay.
I got a 9.
Welcome to level 1.
6.
6.
Yay.
You love that boulder. That was a nice boulder. Yeah.
What would you do?
What about you?
I got a 16.
16, that's good. So you guys are kind of like scoping out. Some of you are a little distracted with like mornings and you haven't had your coffee yet and things of that sort, and you're sort of eating your breakfast. My 16, and what did you get?
I got a 20 not nat.
20 not nat. My 16 and my 20 not nat. You see, you hear a little bit of like movement out of your periph, and as you, the two of you sort of turn and look, and a large man, one of the largest that you've ever seen in your entire life, comes up and takes a sword from his side, slams it on the bar, takes a pouch of gold, like looks at it, and just and throws it on the bar with such ferocity. And the bartender looks at him and says, "Oh, come on, you're not gonna even try." And he drops the gold and sort of in a huff walks out of the bar. My nat 20s. My nat 20s. You see a beautiful elven woman sort of walk into the bar, but she's got a cloak on, and it's sort of hiding these features that almost seem to sparkle in this environment. She looks around the bar and takes a small piece of paper and pushes it up against the wall. Doesn't seem to hammer it, and the paper, just sort of flowy, just goes and like sticks to the wall of its own accord. She looks around the bar, pulls the hood down a little tighter, and walks out.
Evo would he would kind of just be like sitting and watching everything and like trying to write things in his notebook.
What does Evo look like?
So Evo he has light blue skin. He has like almost orange hair. There's a constant like light breeze that like circles around his body because he's an air genasi. He wears glasses. His hair is parted down the middle. Think like Milo from Journey to Atlantis, kind of that look, but as an air genasi. And he would like he's trying to write in his notebook, but the pages keep turning because of the gentle breeze going around him. And so he's just sitting there frustratedly trying to write and like trying to take in everything around him.
You guys are sort of used to this as you look over at the guy that around you. You know that he's a caster, but wizards have a spell book, and as he's looking at it, it's doing this thing of like... and he's just occasionally looking at it, and it starts to move, and he like slaps it back down again. pushes the glasses up and he's sort of looking at that. What would you like to do in this bar?
I guess I would walk up to the bartender and ask, "Hey, what was that about?"
Hi. Sorry. You saw all that, did you?
Saw and heard.
Yeah. That was. Is a bit of a mistake. I thought he could handle a little bit of something, but apparently I was wrong. So.
But kind of something.
You're new here, aren't you?
Fairly new, yeah.
Fairly new. I like that. I've got a cousin, and she's a bit of a handful, and her parents have promised this sort of. It's not really a dowry. It's like a finder's fee. If anybody can get her to come down off of this friggin' tower that she lives in the woods, and I've thought that maybe I could pay someone half of what they're promising, and then they could get her down, and then I would have half the money for not doing anything.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So he huffed because he couldn't get a girl?
Oh, he huffed and he puffed and he blew in here with a bit of anger.
Yeah.
You're not looking for work, are you?
I mean, I did just get off of a quest, but I'm always interested to keep busy.
We could use some cash.
Well, I'm fairly excited to have you here at the bar. Then it's very nice to meet you. My name is Olin.
Hi, Olin.
Hi.
My name's Fallon.
Fallon, great to meet you. I was an adventurer too, a long time ago, and a bit of a retirement now. But very nice to meet you. If you're at all interested, I'd be happy to let you know. But however, I kind of need it to be a unanimous sort of decision.
You know what? I understand. Let me go ahead and go back to my table and speak
Yes.
with my friends.
Yes, absolutely.
How much does it pay?
Hi, son. What's your name?
Oh, I didn't give it.
Great. Then I'm not giving a price.
Okay, Evo.
Hello, Evo. I mean, I'm sure I could. 15 gold pieces? More than reasonable sum?
A piece?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering, we're almost out of money, so.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
18.
The highest I could possibly go would be 50 gold.
That seems fair.
Why don't you discuss amongst your
Absolutely.
friends?
So, everyone, I think we may have a job up as basically just taking a girl off a tower. Nothing too complicated. Nothing that I don't think we can handle.
How hard could it be?
How hard could it be?
I would like to point out that very large man who seemed very angry was not able to do this. So it seems like this might be more complicated than just getting a girl.
I mean, it was probably just that guy. There's 6 of us. With the 6 of us.
We trust is in the booth.
I'm still trying to wake up. So.
Yeah, like, what's so funny to me is, like, Trust is like, and you're like, ugh, and you guys all turn, and Justice is like, eyes are open, and they're like, trying to do that thing, that, like, 1,000-yard stare, and just the two of them together, just like, yeah.
So Shingo would get distracted and by the piece of paper, and he would go up and try to read it.
Sure. You go up to this piece of paper, and as you go up to it, it seems to glimmer with more glitter than should be found on any normal piece of paper. And on the piece of paper, it says, "Wanted, heroes for a somewhat unconventional nature. Need your help correcting a mistake. No gold to offer, but magic in exchange. Must not be afraid of a little horticulture. ... FG."
the Shingo would, he'd ignore it and just go back to his group and just say, horticulture is great and all, but I mean, as a druid, I get enough of that already.
Horticulture?
Oh yeah, I mean,
What did it say?
it said they're looking for someone to fix something that was wrong, but you know we're looking for gold, so I don't figure that would be good for us. They're only offering magic in return.
Wronging a right? Or righting a wrong? Yeah, that one.
You say, yeah, that one, and the piece of paper goes and like flies off the wall and smacks you in the face, and like, yeah.
Okay.
So, heroes, you have two possible paths laid out before you. One hero is still sleeping.
Evo would cast Gust to gain a gentle breeze to not a not so gentle breeze to blast her in the face to wake her up.
Yeah, you know what? As you're going as you're doing this, I imagine like a discarded napkin, sort of like on the table, like.
You were snoring.
Oh,
Rather loudly.
that checks.
The sound of your choking caught my attention. What are we doing?
We have decisions to make.
Oh,
About what? Do we need breakfast? I'll take some pancakes.
I like breakfast.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Hoping to get in your good graces. Olin it comes over and says, breakfast, yes, we have hot cakes and various meats and things of that sort. If a fruit and cheese plate, if you wish. I could bring out the lot if you like.
Yeah, can you bring it out and just lay it out family style?
Yes, of course.
Coffee.
Coffee.
If we're considering your request, is this on the house?
Wait, there's a quest?
Yes, of course.
Great,
It's on the
yeah, we're
house.
totally considering your quest.
Hey,
We
Dad,
are.
I don't know
Go
what's
like-
going on. Yeah, we are.
Okay, you know what,
Yep.
Justice, that you have no idea what's happening, and you're like, yep, quest, that's a
You
word.
had me at me.
Go ahead and give me a deception check. You're gonna roll a d20. You're gonna roll a d20 because he at least kind of knows what's going on. What did you get?
9.
A 9? He's like, oh. And we'll walk back into the kitchen. A fairly short time later, he comes out carrying a bunch of different food, which he sort of lays down in front of everyone, family style. I mean, there's no serving plates or anything. It's just like a plate of hot cakes and meat and fruit and cheese plate and just sort of
the best time.
yeah, and some fairly hot coffee that he's got in a little like sort of pitcher, and he lays that there and he just sort of stands there and smiles at everyone.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can go.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Thank you.
Decisions, right? They're hard. All right, and he'll go and like walk behind the bar and let you guys decide. You have a piece of paper that is promising that can't promise you any gold, but is promising magic, and you don't know necessarily what that means. You have another job that is getting a girl down from a tower, but it's going to pay 50 gold. That you will split, and for all of you, this is probably more money than you've ever seen in your life, but you don't know what that entails.
My vote's for magic.
Okay, so who doesn't love a good amount of magic? But we also need money to survive. So why not? I know we're pretty tired. Porque no las dos. Do both of them. One, we can see if they're like on the pathway to each other. Quickly take the girl, and then we do whatever the whole righting the mistake is. With everyone's lips, I'm going to leave it here. We get money and magic.
I mean, if we can do both, I'm okay with that. I don't know where the other quest is.
I hate you all.
I think we should probably find out more about this girl, though. I mean, does she want to leave the tower?
You know, I'm pretty sure she doesn't, but I can definitely go to the barkeep and ask what's going on with the girl.
I mean, that's fine. I just, I'm not about forcing people to do things they don't want to do.
True.
I don't know. Magic's forever and money is not. That's my opinion.
Right, but like, food is nice.
Yeah, that's all gone too.
No, I meant like
just like
gold
face
for
down.
food.
All of it.
They're having this like deep conversation. It's just like,
Just flicking.
Alright, so what's your
Thank
vote?
you. Thank you for that.
I mean, I don't personally like towers. You know, I've had just a little bit of experience with them in the past. They're always fortified. It's too hard to climb up. I mean, especially if there are no stairs. Do we ask about stairs?
Yeah, and why is she in a tower? Like,
Right.
is there something around the tower that we should be afraid of?
Like a dragon, you know? I think.
Like horticulture? Come on.
Yeah.
That sounds lame. Like, we could do that real fast. This is true.
Well,
I think I might go, I'm gonna go for the magic.
we're gonna go for the. I mean, I want to make sure that we do something that's good for everyone. I don't want to force us to do something. Do we know anything about the magic quest other than righting a wrong?
As you say, do we know anything about it? There is a flutter of the paper, which is still sort of at the table with you, and it sort of like sort of picks up in the wind, and as it does, it flies over to like sort of the side of the table, and forms a doorway of the same sort of glittery material. It looks to be a shiny, glimmering sort of doorway away from this particular tavern. And there is a, oh, come on! It's a cool tower! Like, all that food! That was free. We had some good times, guys.
There's none left.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
As much as I love free meat, I also like shiny objects, so I'm reaching for the door.
That line's too good not to. As much as I love free meat, Justice is gone as she sort of reaches for the door, and as she does, she sort of passes through the glittery doorway.
I'm a sucker for an awesome door.
door. Everyone makes their way through this sort of.
Before I go through the door, since I am now following everyone,
Sure.
I just want to be in passing, just ask like what the girl's name is. So if we so happen to go past the tower,
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, her name, if you happen to be, like, passing through that way, and even if you don't get to it tonight, I mean, who knows, maybe, like, a sequel with the same group of heroes. Like, I would totally be down for that. But her name is Rapunzel.
okay, all right. And this isn't like time sensitive, right? Like she's not gonna die or anything like that.
I mean, oh, God. I don't think so.
Alright.
What am I doing with my life? He sort of puts his head in his hands, and he's hoping that it's not time sensitive.
Okay, well, Rapunzel, keep an eye out for her. She look a particular way? Tall, skinny, fat, blonde?
Yeah, she's a tall girl. At the end of she's staying in this tower back into the like sort of the dark woods. You'll notice that she has this. There's this large tower, but there's all these like beautiful sort of. No way to describe it other than like little garden gnomes that aren't real, that are sort of like leading up to the tower.
Okay, so if we're in the area, gnomes, Rapunzel, tower, dark woods. Perfect. Thank you for breakfast.
Who's gonna? Are you guys gonna pay for that since you're not taking?
She's the door.
She's like, no, I think Seabass has got, and she's already through the door. You make your way through the door. The six of you are treated to a sort of majestic scene. You didn't know what you expected when you went through this door, but you stand on the grounds of a palatial estate. This house is probably one of the bigger homes that you've ever seen in your entire life. It's massive. It seems to be this long sort of. It has its own sort of road leading up to it, and you are on the front lawn or the front grounds of this estate. You see small white rocks that are not native to this area that sort of like create a path leading up to these 2 double doors, and standing in front of the doors is that same woman with a sort of like robe for the 2 of you that noticed when she came in, with this sort of hood on, and as you walk forward through the shimmering gate, she smiles and sort of ushers you forward.
Could I do like an insight check?
Absolutely. Yeah. What are you looking for? Are you looking at her? Are you just sort of like looking around your surroundings?
Looking around the surroundings.
So give me an investigation check, as you're sort of like you kind of want to look and see.
I'll give her advantage.
Sure. Yeah. So she's gonna add her skill, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, you should look at that." And it's like, "Look at that." You know, like look, check.
So then
Roll. When you roll at advantage, you take 2 d20s, or you take the same d20. You roll it twice, and you take the higher of the 2 numbers.
She rolled a nat 20.
She rolled.
So, like,
great.
Yeah.
Great.
You-
Let's
you
just
helped
break
so
everything.
good.
No. Fallon, there's something about this that's kind of weirding you out, and you didn't get where you were today without like sort of double checking and triple checking your surroundings. As you all sort of see this woman sort of beckoning you forward, you take a few steps, but something inside of you tells you to sort of stop and pay attention. And yes, this house is gorgeous. It is beautiful. But then you start noticing tiny flaws. You're noticing like little, like the windows upstairs look a little boarded over. Like, but you'd have to like really pay attention. Like that 3rd story, like you don't know if that looks like wood that's been like used to like board up the window, or then you notice that like some of the white rocks have like little drops of red on them. And you'd have to like really be paying attention, but like almost have to roll an obscenely high number naturally in order to notice this particular thing. But you notice that the white rocks leading up to the front door have an increased amount of these little tiny red specks of paint or blood or something on them. And you still see this woman sort of smiling, ushering you forward.
Who is everyone like at the same like area? Like
Everybody's
distance?
sort of lined up equidistant away from this woman.
Okay. So then I'm going to cast a cantrip for message.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it for truth. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, hey, just trust. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, just. It looks a little weird. There's a lot of pain, blood, scuffs. It looks like not everything is what it seems. So I don't want to rush.
Trust. Yeah, you get this message, and you get this feeling of like, hey, don't know what this is. Like this place isn't quite like up to code. Something's up. Like, and you get this message in the back of your head as you guys are moving forward.
I want to stop then.
Okay.
And put on my arms.
Sure.
Because I don't trust it.
Eva would run into her arm and like fall over it.
Yeah, I believe that. Evo sits on the ground and sort of looks at everyone and says, "This is how I walk." She looks at you all and says, "I suppose I could come to you if you'll allow it."
Well, we'll keep our distance for right now. And hey, you got us here. Who are you?
She takes the hood off, and as she takes the hood off, you see what the 2 people saw earlier, this beautiful elven woman, but her hair is this long sort of white hair, and she's got elven features to her, but her eyes shimmer with this golden light that seems otherworldly. And all of you give me a history check right now as this figure starts setting off little tiny alarms in some of you of like, yeah. 11? Yeah? 18. Who got above a 15? 10? Okay. No, it's okay. You start looking at them with like, oh, she's a fairy. She's a big fairy, but this girl's a fairy. Like, this is the largest fairy you've ever seen in your entire life. And as you think about that, you kind of like, you do that thing where you like peek your head around the side, and her cloak is puffed up a little bit in the back. Almost as if she's like hiding wings or something along those lines. And so you guys watch as you know, as Tobias just is like, and like comes back around this way. She's like, I know this is odd and unconventional, and you've put a lot of trust into me. Yes, it is I, the Fairly Godmother. I'm happy to sign anything for all of you if you'd like. You could take a sketch with me if you'd like, but you see, I was sent here on a task to help this poor girl that's been kept in this house, and she has honestly been through quite a bit, and I thought I had the capabilities in order to assist her, but sometimes my magic is a little bit it's fairly wild. So the things that I thought I was trying to do to help actually sort of turned on me a little bit. I thought it might be interesting to give her some friends and have the mice that live in the house sort of come to life and assist her when it came to making a dress. And they've taken over the house.
Man, it's always magic. That seems incredibly unsanitary.
It is. But I thought if that's all right. Maybe we could tame them, and so I, in the backyard, I set up a beautiful coach that I turned a pumpkin into this large coach, and it was to take her to the ball. The coach also came alive and started infecting the other pumpkins in the area, so we've created a bit of a mess in the backyard as well. And as try as I might, I'm unable to sort of fix these situations, so that's where you all come in. I'm happy to grant my services to all of you after this is done. One thing I am very, very, very good at is enchantments of items. I'm happy to change the enchantments on any weapons or armor that all of you have, making them a little bit more powerful or doing extra damage or things of that nature. But I really need you to sort of help these issues first.
Are you going to turn us into mice?
No, unless you'd like.
No.
Oh,
I'm
no.
good, thank you.
All right. Does that seem doable?
I don't want a living dagger. That's not for me. I mean, my experience with magic and all this nonsense about living creatures and turning inanimate objects into living things.
Yes.
I feel like your enchantments would just kind of make my armor want to hug me too tight.
No.
And then my knife want to stab me.
No, I assure you, I'm very good when it comes to just smaller. I just may have bit off more than I can chew here, and I'm trying to sort of move into the next weight class, and it didn't quite work.
So you're keeping this girl here?
No, God, no, that's why I need you all here. I'm not keeping her here. I'm having trouble. I've got a thing about mice.
Oh, so does he. You like mice, right?
No. They used to go all around. And
so I would love any sort of
I want to insight her.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
That's going to be 14.
She seems legit.
Okay.
With the 14, you know, this is weird. It's not quite adding up, but she seems genuinely concerned for the girl that's upstairs, and almost as if on cue, there is a dunk 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 dunk, like a thumping that seems to come up from one of the floors, and she looks up and sort of wrings her hands a little bit. And says, please, I entreat you, there is a young girl in trouble in this house, and she could use all the help that she can get.
What do you say, guys? Do we at least take a look?
We're already here. We might as well.
Just a little exterminating.
One more thing.
Yes, of course, anything.
I'm going to point to the rocks.
Yes.
What's that?
She looks at all of you for a second and looks down at the rocks, and then looks down at her sort of feet and looks up at you again and says, you are not the first individuals that I have sent inside the house?
So,
Whoops-a-doodle.
So you're basically sending us to our almost death?
No. But, I mean, the prize that is worth getting is the prize. I'm very bad at wording. If you could just go inside the house and rescue her, that would be wonderful. And I promise, you all look much more capable than the last set.
So if we decide to do this, why is she up there?
Well, the mice needed to have a little bit of higher intelligence in order to do sort of the manual labor, and so the ransom is a tricky word, but they are indeed asking for ransom, and I thought that this might be a way for you all to deal with them.
What was the ransom?
Copious amounts of cheese and gold and things of that sort.
So things that are like easily obtainable.
Yes, and then they may have sent a finger from upstairs if their demands are not met, and that's when I became a little bit more desperate and thought I'd reach out to heroes in order to rescue her.
We're already here. We might as well.
Yeah.
So excellent, and she will sort of wave her hand and sweep her hand outward, and the two double doors will creaking and opening into the large cinder palatial estate. She will say good luck, and disappear.
So does anyone have a way that they could check out what's inside without us actually going in there and getting splattered all over these rocks?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, good.
I
Great.
didn't.
Okay.
What do we see right inside the door?
Sure. Who else is stepping up to the sort of front doors without stepping inside to see what they can see?
Eva will move forward.
Eva will
Go move forward. See.
Yeah, so you guys sort of, all the three of you sort of creep up, and so here's the weird thing. With all that she's explained to you, this front parlor looks untouched. It looks like a traditional, you're walking into a house and they're throwing a party. It's warmly lit. All of the furniture is pristine. Everything in the house, the rugs, all of it looks well cared for. Give me investigation checks as you start looking for the finite details in this space.
19.
A 19. A 1.
14.
Yeah. 14. I would even, for some of you that are a little bit more nature-based, if you want to substitute this investigation check with a... no, because I don't want to do nature, because that's int-based again. I'll let you give me a perception check if you'd rather do a perception check instead.
Still bad. 12.
Still bad. Okay.
Still one.
It's bad.
Yeah, still one.
What was yours? 17.
17 and a 19. Okay, you're looking around, and it's really well taken care of. It's really nice. The rug looks a little off. In this front area, there's as you walk in, there's this huge sort of rug right in the middle of this space. It just looks like it's a little tiny bit sunken in regards to the floor.
Beautiful. I would love to use Mage Hand and move the rug.
Sure. You send out. You guys watch as Trust goes. I don't trust this, and conjures a small spectral hand that sort of flies forward and grabs the rug and just. As soon as the outer edge gets to where the hole is in the center, it falls into the hole, and then the rug sort of just gets pulled the rest of the way, and you see this large sort of hole in the middle. I will say that with your perception check, as she pulls this rug forward and it falls in, you hear as things about the space sort of move about. You hear chittering in the walls and stuff like that. So now you are standing in the doorway to this huge place, and there's a huge hole in the center of the floor. You solved my rug puzzle. Congratulations.
We're done. We're good.
You're good.
For a second, I thought that was the Fairly Godmother.
You've solved my rug. You are truly the chosen one.
Okay, well that's
What you can see as you see into the space, there's a set of stairs that sort of lead up to the second floor. You know from your looking outside that there are 3 floors to this place. There's also a door that leads off, which looks to be into a living room. If you stick your head in the room and sort of look about, you see like a large like living room area. But that's what you see from your spot inside.
Well, I guess we have no other choices but to walk more inside and see what we have coming for us.
Are you going first?
You know, if anything happens to me, I just want to say my quest had a more tangible reward. And then I will...
I just want to say I told you so!
I want to walk in
Okay.
and inspect the hole to see if it's like anything inside it.
I need you to be hyper specific with me. How close are you getting?
Like, you know when you have a circle and the distance that you get for you can see like a little bit inside, but not in. Like,
Totally, I got me some circles.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get close, but you're not gonna get like all up on it.
Yeah,
You're
no,
just
like
gonna
I'm not gonna get up in grill, like maybe like outer perimeter.
Fallon walks in. Yes.
Justice wants to cast protection from evil and good.
On who?
Fallon.
Okay. So Fallon, you feel this sort of arcane energy encircle you as you walk in. You get close enough to the hole. What creature is Fallon?
She's an elf.
She's an elf. So she has dark vision.
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to look into this hole. There's no other way to describe it other than like movement. Like almost like you're looking at like water, or like, and it's hard to tell. Like you're able to see it because it's dark in there, but it's like seeing like almost like if you're in a play and they're trying to simulate movement. So like there's a sheet moving, and they do that thing. It's like like that's you're able to see sort of like movement.
So I relayed the message to everyone. There's some movements, kind of. Have you ever been at like a stage play and you're like mimicking movement? It was kind of like that in the whole.
Yeah.
Evo's like standing outside with his head sticking in. He's like, "Oh yeah, that doesn't sound good."
Tobias is standing behind everybody else.
Tobias just like looking at everyone and then like absentmindedly reaches into his pocket and pulls out some of the bacon from earlier. Like eats a piece. All right.
Does anybody have like fire or anything?
Ooh. Okay.
Anybody?
No.
I don't do the magic.
Yeah, you look and there's some wall sconces that seem to have like torches.
Oh, they're lit?
Yeah, they're lit.
Oh.
This place is lit.
So Evo's still standing outside the door. It's gonna go, "You should drop one of those in there."
Great. So I will.
Okay, so here's the layout of the room.
Okay.
Where the rug was.
Uh-huh.
Stairs in front of you. There's a torch on this wall, and then an entrance into the living room, and then a torch on that wall. And then there's a bookcase, torch on this wall, torch on this wall. Which one are you grabbing?
So, where's the hole in relatively?
Right in front of you.
Right in front of me. I'm gonna go to the left where the bookshelf is.
Got it.
Take the torch.
Which one? One closest to you or the one furthest from you?
The one closest to me.
Got it.
And.
Give me a strength check as you see if you can like sort of
I'm
grab
not
and
strong.
pull this thing out of the wall.
11 and. Nope, 11.
Yeah, you manage to. It takes a little bit, and you sort of like take this like sort of wood out of the metal, and you sort of take it out.
Okay. So then, what I'm gonna do is kind of javelin it.
Sure. Give me a D20. You're gonna add your dex here, as if you're like throwing. You're just like throwing like a spear of light and fire into this space.
I got a 20 minus 1 is 19.
19. You getting close to the hole to see what happened?
Well, did it go into the hole? Or?
It did. Yeah, it flew right in the middle and just landed in that hole. And you hear it hit ground.
Do I see any smoke coming out, like an extinguished flame?
Give it a second, and you don't see any smoke come out as if it's been extinguished, and you even see a little flicker as it plays off the little shadows that you can barely see.
Got it. All right. I'm gonna go to my group, my friends, my gaggle of humans or people or things behind me.
It's not wrong.
It's a term of endearment, guys. I throw the torch in the hole.
No, I saw that.
Yeah, no loud hysterics.
Okay.
What you want me to get in closer? Do you want me to see? What do you want to do?
How close did you get to the hole?
Huh?
How close did you get to the hole?
I mean, like I'm like close. I'm not like close, but like I'm close.
Oh, okay. Because you said there was like movement in there, right? Like.
Everybody's staring at her, right?
Right. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Everybody, give me perception checks.
That is 20, not nope.
20, not nat.
Adjusted 20.
Adjusted 20.
15.
15.
17.
That's all right. Technical difficulties.
9.
9. 9. He's been asking 9. 17. You, my 2 20s and my 17. You feel a little like almost like something's tugging at your pants leg.
Oh, God.
Yeah, all three of you, I imagine, look down and you see a small vine that seems to have crept along the side of the house and is sort of like tugging at your pants leg.
That's really bad.
I'd love to use my dagger and just.
Yes, thank you.
There is a moment where she's like, oh hey, there's a everybody who's stabbing the vine around their leg. Give me an attack roll. That would be just the 3 that noticed it at first.
14.
14 to hit.
22.
Yeah, it's a vine. So you do it for the vine, and you stab into this thing, and as you stab into it, there is a and this large shape comes out from the side of the house, and you see this monstrous sort of orange form with sharp teeth and sort of glowing eyes, sort of roll in from the side of the house, and all of the vines like retract, but this thing swivels its sort of orange head in your direction, and the lights ablaze, and it begins to slowly creep its way towards you guys. So at this point, I imagine everyone's heard the noise. I need to know what you're doing. I'm going to give you about 1 round here.
Okay.
If you're going to stay and fight or run inside the house.
Did you need the damage?
No, it's not going to matter.
I found the horticulture.
It was a really good roll.
Tell you what, I will erase this off of the max HP of this thing.
6.
6? Great.
Everything else, everything all counts.
Yeah, it all counts. I'll even let you roll sneak attack if you roll sneak attack.
Oh no, that's not great.
7.
Yeah.
I'll give you a sneak attack.
So yes, there's a loud scream. Everybody sort of does the Scooby-Doo thing, the whoop, and you all sort of turn and see this monstrous pumpkin making its way towards the front doors of the house.
Okay, so it's outside.
It's outside. It's getting there soon. You have about 6 seconds.
Can I mage hand the door closed?
Sure. Are you on which side of the door are you on?
I'm in.
You're in?
I'm gonna dodge.
Who's outside?
I'm outside.
Get in!
You hear "get in" as Trust echoes out a loud in Muppetine fashion. Waving her arm. Who all is going in?
Vishenga's going in.
I've been in.
You've been in.
I'll go.
Can
Why not?
Justice goes in.
Do I have like a second before you slam the door?
I'm
Well, I'm asking because I have something I can do that can immobilize it for a few seconds.
do the thing.
So I have shocking grasp.
Sure.
There's a vine on me. I would have noticed it by now.
There was.
It's gone now.
They got hit it. And
There's
the
no
vines
vines near
retracted.
me. that I would be within like grasp.
So people are running inside,
And I'm like-
then Evo's like, 2 seconds. Evo, give me an investigation check, please.
I saw nothing. I fell.
What did you roll?
A 1. A nat 1.
Ooh. Evo, you're looking around. Oh, I think I found it. And your glasses fall off.
Oh my
And down the little steps.
You guys have dropped my glasses.
What a
Can I see well enough to see my
no!
glasses?
Are you nearsighted or are you farsighted?
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
Are they real glasses or are they just for show?
No, they're definitely real glasses. I need them for reading.
Oh.
So, because I needed them to read my book.
You're farsighted.
Yeah.
Well, since it's distracted, can I stealth to his glasses?
Wait, if you're farsighted, you'd be able to see him.
Are nearsighted. Nearsighted. It's always, I think it's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
If you're nearsighted-
Whatever it is, I
You
need
can't
them
see
to read.
close up.
I can't see close up.
Right, so you can see your
See
glasses.
far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it's close up.
Yeah,
that's
I'd say you managed to, you take a second.
Dive for my glasses.
This thing gets real close. Everybody's inside the building except for Evo, and everybody's like, get in the house. Shooter! and, Evo, who's close to the door? She's using Mage Hand, so who's close to the door? Is Justice close?
Yeah, probably.
Justice, give me a D20. I know you're having some tech issues.
Nope, we're
You're
good
gonna
now.
give me a D20. This is going to be a dexterity saving throw. If you look at your saving throws, you've got a list of those as well.
Cool.
What's better, dexterity saving throw or strength saving throw?
Strength.
So rather than waiting till the last second to sort of yeet, you're just going to just... What we got?
I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, so here's the deal. You're like, I think I found my glasses. Hand on the shoulder. the door. Like, so it's less of a yank and more of a like, you saved our lives. We were totally grateful. Like, inside the house, and then the doors sort of slam shut with a mage hand, and you hear this as this thing sort of tries to claw its way in, and then after a time, goes about the house. Large hole in the center of the room, sort of living room, stairs leading upstairs.
So, I'll look at the large hole again, and now that everyone's here, I'm gonna feel more confident to be closer to the hole.
Yeah, Fallon, you get up there and you're like, I threw it in there. You see what looks to be like a cellar, and it's outlined by light. No movement whatsoever.
Okay. So, who's pretty strong?
Do you ask that out loud?
Yeah.
Evo goes to look at the bookcase.
Like if I were to maybe, I don't know, just kind of pop my head in, would anyone be able to like brace for me? Yeah, it's cool, I got you.
People, Fallon's like, hey, I'm gonna do a pop in, and I imagine you guys have rope in your starting supplies. That's one of the things about Dungeons and Dragons, like you have starting equipment and things of that sort. So if anybody has an adventurer's pack or a dungeoneer's pack or anything along those lines, I'm gonna assume someone has rope.
I have rope.
Okay, so I need somebody to give me a sleight of hand to see about sort of tying the rope and things of that sort, like making sure that it's securely knotted and things like that. I would be so willing to substitute a history check. Like, I know lots about the history
I
of
know
knots.
the history of knots.
And knot tying.
I was like, we're holding your feet. We got these.
It's like it gives someone advantage.
Justice stepped up.
Okay.
What did
history?
Yes.
History or sleight of hand?
Oh, history.
All right, what you got?
11.
You think it's pretty secure.
This seems alright, yeah.
Justice is served. You are tied.
Can I also roll just to be like, so because I'll check my knots.
Sure, yeah, check your knot.
This
Check
seems
your knot.
pretty
Yeah,
legit. Is that? That's a 9 plus 3. It's a 12.
This knot is tight. This is a good knot.
All right. Dope. So, since I'm gonna have a rope now as opposed to my original plan, I'm actually just gonna kind of jump in.
Okay.
Do you wait for somebody to grab the other end?
Well, Justice got it.
Justice, you got it? Yeah, Justice. Okay, so here, this is too good not to do. Okay, so what happens is, Justice, like, you just tied the knot to her, and you're like, all right, guys, should we work together to come up with a, and you hear, like, as Fallon's like, you got this, and jumps into this space. Fallon, give me an acrobatics check, as you just see if you can grab your feet and land on your feet.
It's a 13.
Yeah, you know what? You do that thing where you kind of like you land on the ground and you're like, man, that was a good landing. Ow, ow, ow! My foot landed on the torch and it like burns your foot a little bit, but you're okay. You are now in this sort of darkened cellar area, and now that you're here, everywhere the light is touching, it's absolutely great and fine. But that place is the elephant graveyard. You must never go there. On the periffs of your vision, like as the darkness sort of, this space is large and almost looks like to be like a wine cellar. You catch that movement again, but the movement's higher. Like the movement before, it almost looked like the floor was moving, almost like a little wave. This is it's almost at like chest level, and it's still there. It's just avoiding the light.
Okay. Can I do kind of like a perception check to see if it's like a fog or if it's just kind of.
You pick up the torch. Okay, and then you sort of like shove the torch out and give me a perception check.
6 and then. Oh, she there. It's an 8.
It's hard. You think, oh, maybe I can surprise it as a fog. It's not fog. And you take the torch. I'll let you roll at advantage if you take a couple of steps forward while you're holding the torch.
So, 10. With perception still?
Yeah.
Then 12.
This time, you look and you're like, it's not fog. What is that? And you step forward, and it's fur. It is a sea of rats that are avoiding the light, and they're crawling over each other. They're like crawling over each other and moving and stuff like that. And as you get closer and you sort of acknowledge them, there's the movement kind of stills a little bit.
Justice notices the quietness in the hole and hollers down, "Hey, I'm really struggling with this rope. What do you see?"
It's pretty dark. I think there's like a mob of rats.
That doesn't sound good. Should we pull you back up?
Yeah, we should pull her back
up.
You guys should totally pull her back up.
There is a parting of the sea as this large sort of rat.
Give me a couple seconds.
As she backs up to the center of the hole, do you give her the couple of seconds, or do you
just start pulling?
Just start pulling. Yeah.
Let me hover.
You pull a Mission Impossible. They start pulling the rope, and you're like, no! You're a little kid that doesn't want to go to bed. Like, you're like, let me see. Sort of shove your arms out. You give me a strength check, and I will say you're assisting her.
Well, I was the first one to start pulling.
You were.
Okay. There's rats, and you went. It began to panic immediately.
I was just angry.
Bacon.
You're gonna take his bacon.
Yeah, you give me a strength check, but give me an advantage. So roll 2 d20s. Take the higher of the two as you already feel like, now let's all work together, and Tobias is like, Mama, no! And just starts pulling the rope.
While they're pulling me up, can I throw the torch towards the big giant rat?
Yes, you may. Give me a dexterity, add you're throwing this torch.
It's a 5.
You start pulling. And you take this torch and you go, and throw it, and hoping to land in the center of this mass of where this rat is, so you can see it. And this rat sort of like comes over and catches the torch before it hits the ground. Goes like this, and goes, and that sea comes in beneath you. And now you're dangling up like this, and you're still being pulled up, but that sea is sort of ebbing and flowing, almost as if it's trying to rise up to get you as you're being pulled backwards.
Do I notice that there's less light now?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Beautiful. I'm going to use thaumaturgy and brighten all of the lights in the room.
Okay, you're being pulled. You're being yeeted. With that 13, you're getting close. You're getting close. All the lights in the room like
and
brighten a little bit.
Yes, brighten.
Okay, give me one more strength throw, a strength check at disadvantage, because I don't think you'd be. I think after this noise and stuff like that, would you still be pulling and helping?
Out of panic, yeah.
Yeah, out of panic. You know what? Go ahead. Give me a straight strength throw. You don't have to be at disadvantage. So roll 1 d20, add your strength.
Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 3.
The lights flaring for some reason give you a moment's pause, and you go like, and you like let go of the rope a little bit, and there's a, and you grab it, and at the last second, but you are close to this. Luckily, the light's turning on, and you're seeing and hearing this like gnashing of teeth. This like swarm of rats is sort of like reaching up and trying to get to you.
So they're definitely trying to like eat me, right?
Oh my god.
Can I be like friend or foe?
Give me an insight check, girl. Can we be friends?
That's a 1. So I guess they hate me.
I think they like you.
Okay. So I'm gonna take my light, and I'm just very toxic.
Right.
So.
You don't have a light anymore. You threw it.
But I'm dark. I'm like I can see
You got that
them,
dark vision.
and I can see them like coming at me and trying to bite my face.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do poison spray.
Okay. I'm all about this. Tell me about poison spray.
You extend your hand towards a creature you can see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 poison damage.
You gotta see this. I think we're friends.
We're not friends, guys.
We're not friends. They failed that save. Roll damage for me.
Okay, so it's a d12. It's a 2.
All right. Okay. There is a scream from these rats, and they all sort of like back up and give you a little bit more room, and move away from you as this sort of poison gas fills the space. The group works together to pull one more time, and you are back up in this living room area.
Thanks, guys. We shouldn't go near the hole until like it airs out a little bit. Also, Rat King down there.
I mean, the Fairy Godmother did say there were rats.
Yeah, she didn't say the size though, unless I missed that. They big. They
I thought they were mice.
Rats, mice, it's all the same, really.
It's all vermin. And this vermin.
I mean, if somebody has a way to clear them out, I could definitely clear out the poison that's down there. That's not a problem.
Well,
or we could go upstairs.
We should probably
Either
just
way.
go upstairs. Look, we did the rat thing. Unless anyone had a way to clear out the rats.
Tobias is already halfway up the stairs.
You're like, Tobias, do you have a hi?
Tobias body system.
Tobias, making your way up the stairs. It is this sort of big sort of staircase. It's carpeted. It's very nice. There are lights on upstairs as well. You get to upstairs area, and there's a hallway off to the left and a hallway off to the right, and 2 double doors on this little landing. So imagine like a you don't know what's beyond this master bedroom. Little like hallway to the right, little hallway to the left. But Tobias is already up the stairs if anybody would like to join him.
I'll be with Tobias. You know, I I just kind of jumped off. I'm like, you know what? Bye, rats.
Yeah, Fallon's the first one to sort of join Tobias and start walking up the stairs.
Yeah, as much as I'm over following you after you jumped in, I'm gonna go with you.
Justice is like, oh, let's go, and sort of follows behind.
So Vishengo, before he decides to, he wants to investigate the bookcase and see if there's anything shiny or anything that would catch his eye.
Give me an investigation check. Is anybody assisting in this?
I'm already standing at the bookcase. I've been looking at it for a while.
Yeah.
Assist.
Vishengo, roll this at advantage just in case you get a little bit higher here.
6.
6 total?
Well, yeah, 6 total.
6 total. You're looking and nothing seems to really catch your eye about this bookcase. Because you didn't assist, I would let you look and make an investigation check as well as you sort of look about this space. You two are sort of combing it before you join up the stairs and stuff like that.
I got a 11.
Evo's like, hey, did you notice the candlestick? I'm not here, and sort of backs up and points. And the candlestick, not the one that she pulled from, the one furthest away from the front door, is of a different material than the other sort of sconces in the room, torch sconces.
So Vishengo's gonna. Is it shiny? Is it?
Oh yeah, a little bit. That's like silver. The other ones are like a bronze, but this is like a silver.
He's gonna go for it and try to take it.
Cool. You guys are walking up the stairs. You wouldn't see any of this, no, because he goes up to the stairs and he's standing at the door. You're standing up there. You're standing up there. You reach up and you're like, ooh, shiny. And you sort of turn it to the side. It doesn't go to the right, and you sort of twist it to the left, and you see as the false bookcase opens, revealing a weird scene. There are arcane sigils marked all on the floor. There's a white circle with all of these sort of like sigils marked into the ground and things like that. If the three of you want to make an arcane check or yell like, I think we found something. While you're making arcane checks, the three of you are upstairs and you see these like 2 double doors sort of leading into this room.
10 plus 2. I got a 12 on Arcana.
Yeah, same.
7.
What would the three of you like to do?
Did you say, hey, there's stuff down here?
No. Fallon, Tobias, and Justice, you kind of see these like 2 doors in front of you, leading in 2 hallways off to the different directions.
I'm gonna push past both of them and open them.
Justice, you walk forward and
Wow, I was hasty going into the hole.
My turn.
you're like, dark hole, let's do this. And you're like, I don't know about the bedroom. Oh. Who's going to put stuff in a bedroom? You sort of push the doors open. And as you do, there is what looks to be a young woman's bedroom. Sort of a 4-poster bed, dresser, mirror, a bunch of like knickknacks and stuff like that, sort of like
an episode of Hoarders, okay.
Yeah, almost like an episode of Hoarders, but they're all like family jewelry and like beautiful mirrors and books, and it's almost like when a kid collects trophies, but like this room has all of this stuff in it. Okay. The three of you. We'll go back to them, but the three of you give me perception checks as the doors open, and you hold on to those rolls for me. My highest roll for the arcane.
14, 12, 7.
This is a transportation circle. You're familiar with this sort of magic. This magic is used for like to transport beings from long distances, like here, from different places. And you sort of look about the space, and sure enough, like that's what's traced into the floor. And alongside the wall, there's some other stuff that looks like it might tie into the circle, but it's a magic unlike anything you've ever seen before. Yeah. You don't know if it's to tie in, to bring in stuff from way far away, like not of this world stuff.
I relay that.
Sure.
To them.
What was my highest perception check?
Oh, I definitely got a 7.
7. 21.
16.
There's movement from under the 4-poster bed. There is something under there, and it's almost like as you guys open the door, there's a scramble.
I regret opening the door. Here we are.
He's gonna point out that there's probably rats under the bed.
Most likely.
I'm gonna lay down from a distance, still near the doorway, to see if I can see under the bed and see what it is.
You know what? It's a brave move. I'll say that because you're laying down flat on the ground, you're like, there's only one way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Pancake. And you just kind of like, you give me an investigation check, and I'll let you make this at advantage because you're laying down flat on the ground. You guys watch as Justice is like...
Can I just brace myself just in case something pops out?
You want to give me a hunker check? Yeah, you're just you're ready to go. Like
Yeah.
you got whatever weapon you have at your side.
Mhm.
Like you go in a full like.
Yeah, I got daggers, so like if it's anything close range.
I ain't getting no sleep because of y'all. Like
Basically.
you're about to go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
14.
You get flat on the ground. Fallon, you pull out both daggers and you're ready and you're sort of like surveying and looking about the space. As we go to you guys, yeah, it's an arcane circle. Like it's a weird sort of circle in this space, and it looks like it's augmented in a weird way.
I would like to take one of the books from the bookshelf.
Okay.
And toss it into the circle.
Okay. You grab a book. You like. It's not gonna work. It has to be a.
Evo just screams,
No! You didn't tell me you wanted that one.
It's a book. They're all valuable.
Shingo, what are you doing?
Okay, was it relayed that there was like a weird language?
Yeah, I told
okay.
you.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to see if I know the language.
What languages do you speak? If you look under proficiencies, if you're on D&D Beyond, it should have a list of like languages and things that you speak. Also, what weapons you're proficient in. Yeah.
So I speak Vistani, Abyssal, Celestial, Common, and Druidic.
Yeah, it's funny. This is written in Vistani.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, almost like the DM knew that there would be one obscure language. I was really happy you weren't part of the other group. You'd been like, man, we ain't found shit.
There's some writing over there.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it to see what it says.
Okay, Vishani is a race of people that are known for being travelers and gypsies and things of that sort. You're expecting the sort of like, you know, to be contributing. The more you look at this, you realize that this is not written to be any part of the arcane ritual. Okay. It's written as a warning in case any Vishani came across this area. They could look at this and be like, oh crap, like this was meant to blend in with the rest of the markings.
Right.
And what it says is, don't trust the sparkly one.
Okay.
Do you relay that to us?
Yeah. So we kind of screwed ourselves over with this one. The fairy godmother. We shouldn't trust her.
I knew it.
Back upstairs. Back upstairs. I worked at Shrek for 4 years, y'all. See, you go back upstairs as you get down on the ground and you got both daggers drawn. You sort of look under the bed, and as you do, you are expecting the rats to come swarming out. But you catch a hint of brown hair. It's like long brown hair. And as you like creep a little closer, you see the image of a scared young girl under this bed who sort of creeped in for fear that you were not who you
We're rats.
You were rats. Yeah, essentially.
But you do have tails.
And she's sort of like shaking under the bed a little bit.
I let her know, hello, we're not here to hurt you. You can come out.
Give me a persuasion check.
Math is hard. 23.
Who are you?
We're here to help you. The sparkly one, she asked us to help you?
No, she just wants me out of here.
Do you not want to be out of here? But the rats.
What No, the rats were sent to protect me.
Oh.
And,
By who?
And the pumpkins.
Who sent them?
My parents.
So why does the sparkly one want you out then?
I don't know. Something about like going over somewhere, like traveling somewhere, like going over to ferry. I'm not sure. But the rats told me that as long as I stay in the house, I'm okay.
Well, we promise we don't want to hurt you, so we're not going to take you out.
She comes out of this sort of area, and as she does, she's dressed in sort of plain clothes and things of that sort, and she sits on the bed, and as she does, a tiny rat sort of like hops off of the four-poster bed and walks up, and it's holding onto like a little plate in its mouth, and it like puts the plate down, and then another couple of rats come over and they pour like a little bit of tea from a tea pot into a little cup, and it's carrying the cup over to the little girl, and she's just sort of sits there cross-legged and sips the tea, and she says, "So you're not here to take me to her?"
No, absolutely not. We were only here because we thought she was trying to help you.
No, she's not here to help.
Do we trust her?
Absolutely not. At least that's what the rat said.
Do we trust the rat?
What are you guys doing while all of this is taking place?
So now that I know that you relayed all of that to us,
Yeah.
So now that I know that we're not going that way,
Yeah.
I would turn my attention back to that hole with the giant sea of rats in it.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been looking at it for a second or two.
You haven't been looking at it for a second. You put it in a room, and sure enough, as you look over at it, a large claw, and then reaches up to grab the edges of it and starts like poking a head up as this giant mouse rat figure appears and up and over. And it looks at all of you and says, "Hello.
Hi.
Are you here for the girl?"
Things have gotten a little confusing before the rat started talking.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, mouse, actually, that's rude.
See, that's what. See.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And he pulls himself up. This mouse is odd looking. He's anthropomorphic. He's got small, sort of stubby legs. He's wearing a vest. He's got a little hat, and he goes, "Why are you all here again?"
We were told to come and investigate.
Oh, he's you're another. Yeah, okay. He'll turn his head and get in the hole, and then there is a as you look in the hole, and there is a huge rat that sort of turns to the swarm and sort of like pushes them to the side and walks back into the darkness. And he's like, "Excuse my friend, sorry about that." They actually thought you were here for her, like you were here to bring the girl out of the house.
We just, no.
We took a job, but we have recently discovered that possibly things are different. He read a message on a wall.
Yeah, do you know who wrote that?
He'll walk into the room. You guys hear voices coming from downstairs, a new set of voices.
So, just to be kind, established, I'm gonna introduce myself. Like, I'm Fallon.
Hello, Fallon.
Hi.
I'm the princess.
Oh, does princess have a name other than princess?
I don't remember. I was really little when my parents were taken.
Okay, well then we'll work with princess. This is my friends Justice and Tobias.
Oh, hello, Justice. Hello, Tobias. You may bow if you would like.
Okay. At this point, he's like stuck his head around.
We have friends who would love to meet you. They're just downstairs. We're not affiliated with the Sparkly one.
Oh, okay.
So if you feel okay to come down with us, I would love to introduce you to them.
Yes, of course. And she will go over and take a little sort of tiara off of the little set of souvenirs and things of that sort and place it atop her head. And one of the mice will come over, and it's too heavy, so another one will join, and they'll hold up a little like hand mirror, and she'll look and she'll sort of fix things in the tiara, and then she'll pat both of them on the head, and they'll put the mirror down, and she's like, "I'm ready to meet the rest of my subjects."
Okay.
The two double doors open, and a small girl has walked down, and followed behind her is Fallon and Justice and Tobias, who has his head pressed up against Justice, like sort of like darting around and things of that sort.
Vishengo's gonna try to sneak away because he's just kind of freaked out about this anthropomorphic mouse, and he's going to try to go into that living room area.
Sure. You give me a stealth check as you're sort of freaked out by this whole situation. It's a little weird. You're not sure what's happening.
Plus that.
Okay. So 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You walk over into this area. There's a big piano. It's almost a sitting room with lots of comfy furniture in this space. And there's a door leading outside. You can see sort of the palatial estates and things of that sort, almost like a little servant's entrance off to the side.
Is there anything shiny that would catch my eye?
Give me an investigation check. What are you guys doing as the small girl comes walking down the stairs?
I was just curious. Who wrote this stuff in here again? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I mean, the majority of it is mine. The mouse begins to talk, and he bows deeply to the small girl coming down the stairs, and she bows deeply and holds up her hand, and he goes over and sort of kisses her hand, and he says, I assume they're with you?
Yes.
He reaches to his side.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Don't worry. They're good.
Great. Yes, of course. And he will sort of go over and look in this space. You see now that the bookcase is opened and things of that sort. There is a rumbling that begins to take place as he sort of walks close to the room to where the circle is and examining it, and there is a rumbling that comes from the side of the house, almost past where you guys are, where you are currently. As you're beginning to look, what is your investigation check?
13.
You're looking for something shiny. You see this beautiful vase off in the corner, and it's got all these intricate designs in it and different characters and things of that sort. As you go over towards the vase begins to shake. It's almost as if the house is coming uprooted, and the safe goes, and the vase starts to fall off of the ledge as everything in the house begins to shake.
Okay, I'm going to try to catch the vase.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save. 18.
Yeah. You manage to catch the vase, and you're like, ha ha ha, and you look off to the side, and like 6 more identical ones that you did. Like, you're like, come on. But as you do this, the front doors of the house, the shaking escalates, and the mouse begins to look around, and he interposes himself between the small girl, and the small girl sort of cowers with him and begins to shake like this, sort of repeatedly over and over again, back and forth. And he looks at all of you and says that she's making a final push. Was she still here when you came in? And the 2 front doors of the house explode outward as the beautiful, illustrious, terrifying presence of the Fairly Godmother takes up the space of the room, and she outstretches a hand and says, "Give the child to me."
So I go in front of the girl and I say, not so fast, and I cast...
Let's roll initiative. I'll let you pull off this spell as you're like, not so fast. By the way, and everyone else, you're going to roll initiative. At the top of your paper, you'll see an initiative bonus. It's usually your dexterity modifier. You're going to roll a d20. This is going to be the order that you take your turn in combat. Now, you are working with somebody who's got a little bit of flow here. I'm going to translate into, he does not get a move here, but you all get to make this roll at advantage because you made some good choices. So everybody roll initiative for me, 2 d20s, take the higher of the 2. Okay? What spell are you casting at the Fairly Godmother?
Frostbite.
Frostbite. Perfect. What is frostbite?
You cause a numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 1d6 cold damage, and it has a disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of the next turn.
So, to kick off this round of combat, Fallon reaches forward and this icy blast seems to come forth from her fingers. And as it does, it shocks the Fairly Godmother as this ice sort of reaches up towards her and sort of spreads out. And as it does, it cuts through the illusion she was maintaining as those sort of elven features sort of peel back to give more of a feline look to her. And less of a sort of angelic, motherly type. Now it's a very malicious-looking creature that stands before you, and this dark energy sort of comes out around her. Roll your damage. She's going to have disadvantage on the next weapon attack, correct? Everybody else, give me your... what did you get?
2.
That's still good. You're going to need to wear her down. Give me your initiative orders, 20 to 25. Level 1s. 20 to 15. Okay?
Oh, wait.
16.
Oh, okay. Let's do... what did you get?
19.
19 Justice. What did you get?
16.
16?
15.
15?
Nat 20.
Nat...
Oh.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Vesh. Justice. What did you get here?
15.
15. And then... who else was in that grouping? You.
16.
16. Okay. So we're going to go Justice, Trust. God, you guys. Evo with Vesh at the top. And then what else did we get?
I got a 14.
14. And then...
I got 6.
6. And then, let's see when she's going. Ooh. Vesh, give me a roll.
So, 20.
Just give me a D20.
17.
Okay, you go first. There was an ungodly scream as she reaches out, and this little girl begins to cower off in the corner as this mouse sort of looks at all of you and reaches to his side, grabs something in his pouch, and twists it with his hand. And as it does, a spark of possibility unlocks and opens. And you guys all get that advantage when it comes to initiative order. Vesh, you are up first. What are you doing with your move?
How far away is she from me?
Everybody's sort of gathered in the front of this hallway. There's a large hole in the center. She's at the front door. I'd say she's about 20 feet away from you.
Awesome. I'm going to cast Ice Knife then.
Okay. There is a flickering of arcane energy as Vesh unleashes his hand, and as he does, the form of this knife composed of ice and cold energy flies forth from his hand.
You have to roll a d20.
So roll a d20 to see if you can hit. You're going to add your spell casting modifier to this.
So 16 plus your spell casting modifier, which is that one? 3. So
okay, so 19 for that one.
19. The ice knife flies forward, and it looks like it's going to go off course, but Vesh, you're used to throwing knives before because of your background, and that knife, she sort of looks as it looks like it's going to drift off to the side, and it just pushes forward a little bit and smacks her into the chest. Roll damage for me.
9.
Okay. She takes 9 points of damage and does another scream, but now Vesh, she only has eyes for you. She will sort of outstretch her hand, and as she does, a large club appearing in her hand that seems to be made of this sort of spectral energy. She will walk forward and make an attack against you, but this is at disadvantage, correct? Because of your move from before? So I'm not going to get my nat 20. This is a 12 to hit.
Okay, yeah, it hits.
Okay, this club goes and smashes down into you. Vesh, you feel it strike you in the center of your chest, knocking the air from your lungs as you take 4 points of damage as this dagger, this sort of blast of energy hits you in the chest. I will say that Evo, you are standing next to him.
yeah.
That is a 15 against AC.
Yep, hits.
She will extend the club and sort of push it as it flies through the air, and it will smack you in the chest. You manage to brace for impact, seeing that what the club did, and you only take 2 points of damage. As she does, she moves closer to where the girl is. so closer to where you are with her movement. Okay, that is her move. Justice, you are up.
I step in between her and the girl, and I cast Sacred Flame.
Okay, so she needs to make a wisdom saving throw here, correct? Or is this a
dexterity?
Dexterity saving throw. That is a 2. Does that make it?
No.
She runs forward and towards the girl, and you basically give her a full Gandalf. You shall not pass. And as she does, this sort of spectral flame begins to ignite around her, and she tries to pat it out. But as she does, the flame jumps from her skin to her hands, crawling up and burning her for 1 point of damage. Which is better than 0. You're lapping everybody who's still on the couch not adventuring. She begins to scream and stubs her toe in agony as the spectral fire begins to crawl up her. Trust, Evo.
Yes. How far away am I again? I'm like...
You're somewhat close to her because she smacked you with this club, but then she moved away from you, and she's currently being stopped with Fallon and Justice sort of standing in front of her and the girl. I will say about 10 feet.
So she's about 10 feet away from me. I'm going to... Yeah, I'll do Frostbite.
Frostbite?
Yeah, so I would, hit her with a cold wind.
What save is Frostbite?
Frostbite is a con 12.
She does not make it.
Doesn't make it, so 1d6.
Okay.
4.
4 points of damage as this cold wind seems to come from a different direction as she feels she's battered on all sides and begins to start looking desperately around the room, looking for some sort of egress or how she can get to the girl fast enough. Evo, that is your turn. Are you doing anything with your bonus action?
With my bonus action,
Fallon, you are up next. So start thinking about what you want to do. No?
You missed me.
No, Trust is up next. You're supposed to go before Evo. But after Justice and Fairly. Yeah.
So I have 2 weapon fighting?
As a wizard?
That's what it says.
Cool. Okay, but I think it takes an action to cast that spell, so you're good, homie.
Okay, it just has it under bonus action.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah. If you were to take an attack and then have another, boom, boom. But because you're using an action, combat consists of a couple of different things. It consists of an action, bonus action, and movement. Sometimes you are also able to take a reaction if it's written into your character, which can be done and usually have like triggering effects. So I skipped you, Trust, but we're going to circle back around. It's now your turn. Okay.
Alright, beautiful. I'm going to cast Command.
Okay.
On Sparkly.
Okay, tell me about the spell Command.
You speak one word command to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it.
All right, I'll give you the wisdom saving throw. What word do you yell at this Fairly Godmother?
Grovel!
She looks over towards you and begins to laugh at you as you issue this command, and then she looks down in horror as her legs stop sort of floating off the ground, and she begins to kneel in front of Fallon and Justice as she begins to grovel at your feet. So she is just sort of prone down on the ground. So what that means is while she is prone for a full turn, sort of groveling in front of you, all of your attacks will have advantage while you just sort of beat her.
Yeah.
Okay? That was Trust. Evo, we already did you. Fallon, you're up, followed by Tobias.
Okay, so she's looking directly at us, and the princess is like directly behind us, or is like, where's the princess?
Princess, or what you know as princess, is over with this sort of mouse creature, and she's. You two have interposed yourself in front of her. The mouse is sort of behind her with an arm on her shoulder and one hand in his bag.
Okay, is she visible to the fairy?
The princess? Yes.
Okay. Never mind. I'm going to then do Ice Knife then.
Okay.
So, I create a shard of ice and fling it at one creature. It is a dex saving of...
I will say, because she is groveling in front of you, there's no way that she can make this dex save.
Actually, so then I don't want to do Ice Knife.
Okay.
Because she's right next to me, I kind of just want to stab her with my dagger in her neck.
Perfect. Give me an attack roll at advantage and roll a d20 twice and take the higher of the two as you just go like, stab, like as you stab her in the neck with your knife. Tobias, you are up next.
19.
19. It is a and you sort of stab into
19 plus 5. My bad.
Oh, 24. Okay, yeah. Well, both are gonna hit, but the 24 is gonna do like it's more for fun. So you stab into her with this knife, and as the blade pierces her neck, there is another scream and howl from her as she is forced to sort of stay on the ground in front of you. Roll damage for me.
Oh no. D4. Which one? This one? This one.
This is gonna be
It's a 4.
This is a much quicker fight than I thought it was gonna.
Oh no. It's a 7.
No. Okay. Yeah. This is another 7 points of damage. She's looking rough. As she's sort of been placed down before you guys, and I've got some poopy rolls. Tobias, you're up.
We're gonna dagger twice.
Dagger twice. There is a boom boom. So it actually can roll an attack and give me. I think this is an automatic. Yeah. Roll an attack for me.
17 on the first one and 11 on the next.
Yes, 17 will hit. Roll sneak attack damage.
That's 11.
How do you want to do this?
Hey! I'd like to cut off her wings.
Her wings are outstretched, and as you reach forward with the daggers, you cut off her wings, cutting off her connection to Fairly. And this sort of haggard Fairly creature outstretches a hand and lets loose a guttural scream that seems to fill the entire chamber. There is this loud sort of howling wind as the circle from behind the bookcase sort of ignites. And as it ignites, she begins to glow with the same sort of fiery light from within the circle. As it grows brighter and brighter and brighter, there is a loud sort of audible pop, and she dissipates in a cloud of smoke that seems to get sucked into the circle.
Yay!
Princess begins to clap very loudly, and she says, "For saving me and finally getting rid of the Fairly Godmother, I will all make you princes and princesses of the kingdom of Fairly."
Yay!
And because of that, you need crowns. And she will run into this closet, and as she does, she will come out bearing individual crowns that she has handmade out of paper and various sort of rocks and things like that, and sort of tells you to kneel down and places them on your head. And as she places them on your head, she says, you need a reward. And she runs in, and you're expecting more sort of paper mache, but she comes out carrying individual sacks of gold. And places a bag of gold in each of your hands. She says, "I don't like these because they're very heavy, so you can have them." You each receive a sack of gold worth 100 gold pieces each, and they're placed in front of your hand. And the mouse sort of nods his head and says, "I cannot thank you enough for what you did. Your actions here are very commendable, and you have a favor from me whenever you may need it."
And who is me?
I'm not from around here, but just knock.
Got it, knock.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm gonna outstretch his hand.
Yes. Dormouse, very nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for doing everything that you did here today, and saving the princess, who's not from around here, but I will make sure that she finds some parents, because living here too much is not sustainable. Is a day. And she like turns her head and she like shakes her head and she's right. That's right, Day. It's not. So let's find you a new mommy and daddy. And Princess Day sort of bows her head to each of you one more time and thanks you both so much. And congratulations, D&D 101 group. You finished your first adventure. With 2 hours, we skipped an intermission because there were a couple of different ways that could have played out. But thank you so much for making your way through. This is a brief taste of Dungeons & Dragons. There's a large world. You all did the thing that I can't teach. I can teach you the dynamics all day long. I can teach you skill checks and how to make attacks and the logistics of spells. The thing I cannot teach is bold character choices, is laying on the ground and talking to a scared child. It's searching for the face because that's what they would do. It's jumping in a hole. It's the thing that makes the characters that we have here on Indigo Chameleon so amazing and frustrating and lovely and full of life. And that's what, in my mind, just personally, that's what the game is all about. Is about taking a brief second out of the day to embrace a side of you, to be the hero, to be the one that jumps in, to be the one who stays true to their family beliefs and heeds the warnings left behind. It's an amazing game, and once an Indigo, always an Indigo, so you guys are welcome back. I encourage you to come back and play. I really want to do the tower one because I really had a lot of fun with it. So if you guys want, we'll look at schedules and stuff like that, and we'll come back and we'll just do the tower one. You've all leveled up, so level up your characters, and we'll do another fairly adventure if you would like, where we can go and rescue Rapunzel, or what you think is rescuing Rapunzel, and we'll see what's up with those garden gnomes. But yeah. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in tonight. Tell your friends. Tomorrow night, we go to Neverland. It's going to be a lot of fun. We get to meet a pirate, and we get to learn a little bit about the mythos of the big, bad, scaly, green crocodile. And we will talk to you guys soon. We love you guys. Indigo Canal.